John Thatcher Longley.
Don't call me that.
That's the name of a drummer.
No, you're just making shit up.
Clean up your house.
What?
It's a line from the song about that drummer.
Oh, because my house needs to be cleaned up.
It just applies in most situations.
Whose house doesn't need to be cleaned up?
President.
No.
Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of We Talking About. Today we're talking about episode 9, season 1, of iZombie. He hates when I
back
say
to the season 1
so I'm
thing,
gonna
are
keep
we?
doing it.
Is this good?
Feels good.
Should I change this?
Well,
Better?
worse.
More?
The pen was what made it for me. Can you put the pen back in the shot?
Do this at all times.
Alright, that's perfect.
Perfect.
We were once filming a movie, and you had a shot, and I go, how's your shot? You're like, perfect. He said something like I'm in pain every second. And I was like, perfect.
Yes, I was like, I had like my knees bent in a very specific way, and I was already trembling. And you were like, how's your shot? And I'm like, I can't stay like this for more than a second. And you're like, action. It was amazing.
And the shot worked.
We didn't use that shot.
I know, but it
I
worked.
edited that.
It
What?
worked.
It did work. I'm now damaged permanently.
That's what made it better. So I was gonna put like a little caveat where it would cut to a picture of me going, he was really in pain shooting this shot, and then people would have known, because without people knowing the pain, you don't really enjoy it as much.
Do you have the angle of me saying no? I can't hold this position. Before
Oh God,
you said,
no! I
rolling.
wish.
were you somehow
I wish.
only filming me and not the actors?
I wish.
That would be dope.
That's why ABR is the new motto. Always be rolling.
I'm turning down my headphones.
I want there to be a camera on me with a camera on that camera on me constantly. So like whenever.
That's why we need
something funny
lackeys
happens,
to record B-roll
I
at
need
all
like
times.
6 lackeys.
You can make a robot with where it's like LAK. It's just like initials and it stands for something crazy.
Acronyms of
Have them
lackey.
just filming.
Like LAK-E.
Ooh, lackey. I like that because there's less letters to have to think up.
I like it too. The dash would also have an acronym though. It would be DAS.
The dash would then in parentheses next to it have the letters for the word dash, and then those would each have an acronym too.
Yes.
We're dying. iZombie episode 9? Is it time for iZombie episode 9?
This episode, I actually enjoyed this episode.
Are you kidding?
No, I did.
Okay.
I did enjoy it. Maybe not for the reasons intended, but I liked it.
Teasing the lead.
I liked it.
I need a second to remember because we're in the opposite situation as we usually
This
are.
is the first time I remember things because I watched this like within the last 10 minutes. I finished.
Really?
When I said I'm going to be late, it was 'cause I was like, I'm watching that episode right now.
Because I watched it before the time before we last filmed, I think.
Yeah, yours is like a week out.
Yeah, so
What's funny though is I still don't remember how the episode starts.
I do. Elevator hoodie does not see.
Yes,
This will be
so
fun.
it picks up
We can just read
directly-
my notes verbatim and then figure them out.
It picks up directly from where the last episode left off, where
Yes.
she sees Blaine through the elevator. But now, when it picks up, she's on the outside of the elevator, he's in the elevator, her hoodie's up, and she's walking away.
She's like walking out of the elevator, and he
Exactly.
somehow doesn't see her. That's the dumbest thing
Well,
ever.
yeah, how
Doesn't
many
she
people in
smell like a
sweatshirts do you?
zombie? Isn't that like how this works? He turns like, wait, what? And then like goes up. I was like, what the fuck, are you kidding me?
Nothing about this show makes me believe anything is consistent. Like, if they did have some sort of zombie-smelling power, that would be like only for episode 3, and it wouldn't continue. Because certain times it's like, I'm a zombie, things don't hurt me. Then it's like, oh God, I'm injured.
Oh no,
And, like,
I fell.
Yeah. So, whatever.
And she sees the thug outside and has more visions,
Yes.
reinforcing this horribleness or whatever the fuck.
In this episode, not at this exact moment, but or maybe it was that exact vision, but they flashed this twice at least. You see him when he first came out of the freezer-ish, and he has the white hair. And I was like, all right, so that is the same guy. His hair was not combed back; it was forward, and it was white. So that's why he looked like a completely different person.
Yes, and his skin was a different color, and his clothing was
Yes.
all different fucking thing. Yes. I'm glad that we settled that. I think at the time I was like, no, that is the same guy. But now we know for
Yeah.
sure, because you never know.
It was a dramatic difference, and
If we know for
it's
sure.
nice to know.
Yes. Now I'm sure what direction to go in here.
Well, we could jump around a little bit here. So I started to the mook who came out of the freezer, the former white-haired, now
Yes.
just gym rat guy. I kind of like that guy.
You like him now?
I kind of like that guy.
I like that you like him.
Because he's big. He's not as dumb as the previous lackeys.
I think he's gotten the writer's attention thing. Because I think that he was that dumb, or he was written that dumbly earlier, or whatever the fuck. And now they're like, wait a minute, no, we need this guy. And they're giving him
he's
more
a guy that's like
personality.
cracking jokes in between takes, and they're like, oh, he's actually good. Oh, okay,
Right.
we'll do more with that. Yeah.
I don't know what to call this, the Andy Dwyer effect or something. This is a thing where they're like, no, we're gonna make you the guy that does all these things now because he's doing stuff. Like, I don't know.
That was the worst segue ever because
I may accidentally jump too far ahead
jump,
here.
because I forget everything.
All right, so if you forget everything, then nothing ever matters. This episode has a couple of things in it, just abstractly, that I wanted to talk about.
Sure, just throw out whatever you like.
One is it's one of my biggest like pet peeves ever in like a thing. It typically happens in like romantic comedies or whatever the fuck, and they're doing it here with the whole like brain thing or whatever.
Okay.
They kind of like subvert it by
where there's something that's so easily explained with like one little thing, and it turns into like our relationship's over. How could you kiss her? I was getting gum out of her hair. You were just at a weird angle.
Yes, exactly.
You didn't stop to say anything.
One person, usually the woman, is all like, "No, just go," and he's like, and then goes, and you're like, "What? Yeah. No, fucking just say, wait, I wasn't doing that. It looked like it, but no." But here it is about like murdering or like capitulating
killing
and murder or something like that,
and condoning it and eating their brains.
So Lowell actually says, like he doesn't really have as because she says like he should have known, like. Didn't you notice that all the visions you were having were of people like fighting for their lives at their last minutes or something like that? And he goes, well, I don't go looking for triggers. I don't have as many visions or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, which makes sense.
He's kind of throwing that out there. It gives us more, like I make a special note whenever we get more information about how zombies work in this universe or how like the whole thing happens.
So you know that they're not just randomly happening like, okay, it's been 38 minutes, boom, vision. It's that, things are directly related to triggers, and you can potentially avoid having any memories from the previous person if you just stayed in a white room.
You might just randomly not do it, right? Because she's around that person's corpse even after she eats their brains, which doesn't usually happen, right? Because for a minute, I thought maybe, like, episode 2, it was like, is this just her power, or do the rest of them have visions, what they do, right? So now we're getting more information about all that. Robbie was bitten by the zombie rat.
Zombie rat. Which,
what the hell?
Well, it turned out to be not that big of a deal, it seems.
Yes, it did.
He like, I don't know. I feel like as a doctor, and the things that he would yell at her for not doing, like he didn't tell her immediately. He didn't let anyone else know. He didn't put himself in the quarantine. He did nothing to, because who knows? It could have been a super strain off a rat.
It's a whole experimental thing. It could have literally done anything. He could have killed all these people that he's getting to know and loves now.
Yeah. Right? And he gave this zombie rat the zombie virus in the first place. It was not necessarily the exact strain that turned these people.
No, that's what I mean. Like,
so there's
It isn't like Liv bit the rat or scratch the rat or whatever we say does it here, where you could just say, oh, I guess
this could be an airborne version for all we know.
Yeah, he could have destroyed the entire human race.
Yeah.
He could have crossed the species boundary and had it become airborne. I forget how that even gets resolved later. He just says, I'm fine?
Yeah, he asks her about like when you first turned into a zombie.
Yeah,
how did you know?
Throwing in questions.
She's like, the craving for brains was pretty obvious. Like it was immediately. And then he's like, oh, so he's like sniffing brains, almost vomits, and like, and just kind of assumes he's like, I guess I don't have it. Or maybe rats take a little longer to manifest than humans. He just wrote it off with like as a scientist with like no science at all.
Did he actually ever was that officially resolved? Or was it just like, huh?
He said it was resolved.
Okay. But did he use science?
No.
Okay, fuck. Maybe it's not resolved.
He's not
that's
a
why
scientist.
I don't have notes
He's
about
a moron.
I was too busy writing down a bunch of other stupid notes.
Sure.
So when she tells that story, she mentions that like she ate a brain on the shore, like while she was leaving or whatever, right? Like I woke up in a bag.
She found
I found a scared medical student, and then I found someone else, and the brain was already open and all that, and all that stuff, and
had some occipital lobe.
Just calling out to me. There's a lot about brains in this episode.
Sure.
A lot about Major.
Major is on a bodybuilding website where he finds out eating human brains has something that can make you get jacked quick.
Pituitary gland, yo.
So that's interesting. And then so this is a weird thing. So he goes to just the gym where he knows that guy goes. And
do you think he knows the guy goes to that gym?
Yeah. Okay. That guy was... what did he either opened his gym bag or he had the shirt on? There was something that was the trigger for how he knew he went to that.
That's why he picked that gym.
He picked that gym on purpose.
Okay.
So he goes to the gym and he starts dropping like oh man, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll take that extra stuff. Oh, we got creatine, like the human brain stuff.
Wink, wink.
And that guy's like, you're a crazy person, essentially.
You're willing to eat human brain. Wait. You'll eat human brains to get bigger muscles?
And he jumped right to human brains. He's like, I heard if you eat brains, you can get
Yeah, he said like pituitary gland or whatever.
And he's like, wait, human brains?
You're willing to
Because he could have meant anything. He could have meant normal, like brains you could buy at a butcher shop.
Legal to obtain brains that are probably going unused due to their harmful parasites that you want to eat. That's fine, right?
Yeah. But that guy, and then somehow had Major's information to give out to Mook number 3.
Well, okay, so then he's recounting, like, get a load of this guy. I had a guy in here earlier asking for brains. And then masterfully done, like the dude benching in the foreground is actually, dun dun dun, the thug guy is like, you got this guy's number or whatever? And he gives it to him, which is even weirder.
That's what I'm like,
because I'd be like, why? Do you want to hook him up with brains? Are you weird too? Is there a whole brain thing going on here that I don't know about? There is, but... That's neither here nor there.
You can't give that information out. That's ridiculous.
No, you
it should have cut to him torturing that guy or something to get that number. Like, anything to make that a little bit more sensible.
Or he's in on it somehow or something like that.
Turns him. You find out also that Lowell was turned by...
I have a note of that, too.
Yeah.
He was turned by Blaine. And he even says, like, because I think he liked my music or something like that. He keeps calling me up wanting to jam. And they use that later.
To call him in.
Possibly now. All right. Why
It's a weird episode with so much... I think what I liked
There's so much B-story.
There's so much things happening. So, like you find out that the virus can't jump the species border, or at least you think you find that out. You find out who turned Lowell. You find... is there some other? I think more things we haven't got into yet, but it's just like a lot of shit gets hammered out all at once. And
so what do we even call that? The overarching plot, the B plot, the Martian manhunt? No.
The episodes we've had that have been really bad, that have had nothing happen, should have had 1 or 2 of these things instead of having 10 of them all in one episode.
Right.
But makes for this an interesting episode.
So it's like every episode has a case, and we haven't even gotten to that yet. 'Cause there's so much. What do we call that though? There's so much
surrounding plot,
like long-term storytelling or whatever.
Yeah, the larger arc.
So
the main the plot for this episode is an army guy with his little brother, little brother program, is playing paintball, and they find him dead.
Yeah.
And I just love the ending of this is you find out he was killed by a drone.
Yes.
And drones are loud as fuck, and it was only 15 feet in the air. That's something anybody should have noticed.
That's pretty funny.
There were at least people playing when this happened, because it happened in the middle of a round. It would be like, oh, and then maybe a silenced gun
driving away. So I didn't write any of that down. It's so weird. In most of my notes, which are on these legal pages here, up top I write psychic reading tarot cards, dies, eats brain, does this, and this is halfway down the page. I'm like paintball kid, but little brother, PTSD. I start writing it because so much else happened or whatever the fuck. I don't know how much even of that case we need to get into.
And he 3D printed the gun that attaches to the drone that fires the bullet. I'm like, what the fuck?
That seemed a bit like we're gonna pepper in all these things to make the
case we know fancy words for he's a nerd. Let's that was what struck me too. When she stops him, so at the end, Liv stops the bad guy, the guys. He goes to run away, and she's like, nerd. And that I liked.
Did you like that?
I like that.
You like nerd slamming?
Nerd.
Is that your thing?
It's because in her mind, she's still like the army guy.
Yeah, we haven't even...
Nerd.
Right, so she eats the brain this time, and it's one of the only, useful brains we've had all season.
And didn't even use it.
I know, she's now a, methodical, disciplined, whatever
sniper.
The fuck, yes. But that comes into play.
All right, so let's swing over into that.
Can we take a moment, though?
Sure.
I feel like this is the primo time. One of my favorite bands of all time is Nirvana.
Yeah, they mentioned Kurt Cobain.
There's some Nirvana stuff in this. Blaine loves Nirvana.
Yeah.
Blaine was 13 in 1994, which makes him 35. We got some fact checking here from the show.
Yeah.
His character's 35.
That sounds about right.
I don't know if Nirvana's my favorite band, but they're the reason that I got into playing music and I play guitar today. When I found them, I had this urge to study that music, and that branched out into everything else. It was really weird, though, to hear all this shit happening. It's set in Seattle. I guess that's why they picked Nirvana. Seems sort of weird. Fecal Matter was a band that I knew Kurt Cobain was in before Nirvana, but I thought he was the drummer in that band, and I didn't think any of the songs that they had ever made it to Nirvana. So I don't know if that was like made up or something like that. But it was super crazy and weird to have all that happen in the show, right in the middle of like the rest of my shit. And this show's done a few things like that, and I don't know if all shows just do this now, because like the game was really Diablo 3 at one point.
Yeah.
And now Nirvana's Nirvana, and someone checked Wikipedia for Kurt Cobain and picked like a funny name of an old band or something happened. They're actually it's weird. I feel weird about this. I'm having feelings.
Feelings like when Liv was on. So they conduct a plan because.
Well, so Lowell and Liv make up.
Yeah.
Because she's like, no, just go, and then
he
like,
comes by with a brain he dug up from a cemetery, and he's like, okay. He's like, I'm getting my own brains now. Relax.
Let's talk about that for a minute, though, because he went to the guy's funeral so that he could like intercept the brain and had all these feelings about this brain and all that stuff, and had a whole like awakening about what he's been doing this whole
he didn't really intercept in quotes.
No, but I mean, like,
he did have to dig it up.
Yes, but I mean, like, he didn't have to go to the, like watch parts of the funeral to like do this. He could have showed up later.
Yeah.
But he was like
paying
there or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, because I think it's the first time he's ever going to cut a head open himself.
Yeah.
And has to do it, the right way, or at least his right way.
I know. I liked that.
So after this, they've made up. They're this and that, and the plan is like, well, you gotta stop. Like, he can't be allowed to be doing this anymore. He's killing teenagers.
Blaine's running a ring of murder and brain. Fucking.
So she's like, I'm gonna kill him. Blaine's gonna die. And he's like,
he must be eliminated.
He's like, I'll call him by my place. Call him back to he's always asking the jam thing.
Yep.
So they come by and they're having some prime cuts of brain, I guess. I don't know what that was. It looked like weird, like center core of a bone or something, or mixed with an ear. I don't know. But they're on the balcony frying up these prime cuts, and there she is, like ready sniper style,
rooftop, getting ready to take him down.
She just can't do it. She's like, I can't do it. And then just to cut back while things are happening here at Major's house, our big and ugly is breaking in there. He was constructed by Blaine to kill the guy asking about the brains, because we can't have that. So he shows up, and Major gets home, opens the door, flips the light on, flip. No light, don't work.
Always a good move.
Sees a big ass hammer on the table, which for like. This would be a lot creepier. For him, he has a roommate. Like, it could have been the roommate could have left the hammer there.
That's true.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. So he's not alarmed just yet. It's just like, oh, my power's out. Oh, a hammer. What the fuck?
Like maybe someone was fixing something and the thing is broken and they need a hammer.
And then, bam, he gets hit in the stomach by a big guy, and they're fighting for the hammer. Big guy's bigger than Major, so he's like got him pinned. He's gonna break his hand to get some information on who he may know about the brain.
Hold on, he says something. Oh God! It was like we're taking all the way to like Pain Town, and it's like the fucking five-fingered express. Like he makes a pun about how he's gonna smash this guy's fingers.
But it didn't feel as sometimes whenever you hear those, you're like, the actor was like, oh God, how do I say this?
Right.
But he said that fine. I didn't have any problems with the delivery on it.
I know, and that's why I wish I'd written it down. Oh, it was so good. You know what it is. You just watched the episode.
Yeah, I'm taking you to Payne Village.
Something with the like the Charles Hand Express.
All aboard to Payne Town.
Fuck.
So he's fighting him. You can see Major is clutching his keys in between his fists, and he punches him in the leg. And we've seen Liv, a small girl, get shot in the thigh with a gun, and she was just like, oh, I'm just climbing this tree, whatever, didn't even lose my step. Right. This, he's like, ah, and gives Major the chance to run upstairs where his gun is in the underwear drawer.
Right.
So he runs, gets the gun, pop, shoots him twice in his chest. He falls, and then he's like about to vomit, and then bam, his leg is here. He's like, ah! And what I thought was him shooting him right in the head.
Yes.
But apparently not.
Yeah, so I thought that too. I thought the final shot was like supposed to be a kill shot, but then he even says, like, maybe it was, but like they covered it with the dialogue, because he says later to the cop guy, I shot him 3 times in the chest or something like that. But the dude's eyes got red. I don't know if Major was supposed to have seen that. He didn't.
Yeah, I thought that was the red of like I'm dying, whoop, like one last shimmer of
like
dead.
Zombiness or something.
Yeah.
Yes. I guess he didn't have like a big gaping head wound, but like why would he or something like that?
Yeah, but I was even said should I rewind? And I was like, eh.
I've had that several times with this show. I'm like, should I rewind this? Nah.
But later, he calls over the cop. What's the cop's name? Daryl? John?
Babadook? Babino?
Babino. So Babineau comes over and he's like,
Clive
you know,
Babineau.
he called him on the sly, which I'm like, that's,
Like,
I didn't know who to call. Call 911, motherfucker. Like what the fuck?
Well, he bought the gun out of the trunk of a car, which I feel like might even be less of a reason to call a cop, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, he knows of all the cops, maybe he can trust this one.
But what's ridiculous about all this is, like, he didn't even have to buy the gun out of the trunk of a car.
No,
He's not like a wanted criminal. He was a social worker.
He was in jail for one night.
He would clearly be fine with buying a gun.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it that way. He bought it illegally. He shot this thing. But apparently there's no blood whatsoever. Not even a drop.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about that. When Liv was shot in the leg, I don't know if she
There was a little bit of blood.
Okay.
And the detective, the captain noticed it. And he's like, oh, you got him? He's like, oh, I must have nicked it. Yeah, not that much blood. And that was like him noticing she was a zombie.
Exactly, right. So
there's always a little blood.
There's something about not bleeding too much, though.
I feel because you don't make blood anymore. It's whatever you have is what you have.
I don't know if any blood actually fell out of her leg, or if it was just like the redness of the hole in the. I don't know. But I agree, though.
Earlier we see her go for a run, and she gets tired. You see her lose her breath, and I'm like, what does this mean? You have no circulation, but somehow, like, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand your rules, zombie world.
Is it magic? Are you full of energy drink now?
So he's gone. There's like, a bullet that looks like it just hit a bulletproof vest and fell to the ground. It like was totally flat. Did you see that? It wasn't like when Davino picks up the bullet.
Oh.
It was just like a flat bullet. Like I was like, what the fuck?
What do you mean it wasn't?
It wasn't in the guy. It didn't have anything on it. It looked like a perfectly clean bullet.
Oh, the bullet was not the casing. It was the actual
It was the bullet. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I don't know. Maybe he missed.
It didn't look like he missed. Anyway, back to Liv. Liv is waiting there with her gun. She's like, I can't do it. She texts Lowell and says, like, yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then, like, he walks back and he turns away so that she can see him, and he's like, I'll take care of this.
And he kind of goes like does a weird like big ups, love you.
I got you.
LL for like he's like
he grabs a like salad fork or something.
Like a sirloin spinner,
whatever it is, some piece of shit. And like just telegraphs his move completely.
Yep.
Like goes up real slow and goes for him, and he blocks with his arm. He's like, "You're a terrible host," and kills him.
Yep.
And then
shoots.
He's dead. He's dead.
You think he's dead?
He's 100% dead.
Why is he dead?
Because he was shot in the head.
Was he shot even though?
Yes.
They don't show him actually getting hit, right?
He's dead.
I mean, we are to believe he is dead. I'm just saying.
Yes.
There's a difference between you see him dead and you see something and you think he's dead.
Now, Liv's reaction of no is not what like happens when like you're minorly injured. He's dead. He's dead.
No, I mean, you would assume he was dead from what happened.
He drops the L-bomb in this episode. It's a perfect time to die.
It's a perfect time to be dead.
Yeah. Is there any other bullshit in this? So obviously they catch the drone guy, call him a nerd.
Yeah, okay. He 3D printed the gun, which is weird. The thing's called Euphrates is the name of the fucking company that's supposed to be like shipping things. I thought that was a funny, stupid little pun or whatever the fuck. Wants to shoot Blaine, doesn't want to be a killer. Tries to kill Blaine. I wrote tries to kill Blaine, doesn't go well. I underlined it. Alright, the thug finds out about Major.
It just goes to show you that, like, in every show ever, when someone doesn't do something, they always regret it.
What do you mean? Oh,
like
shoot the guy?
In every situation, you're like, all right, I'll let you live. And then it's like, oh, no, he'll get me later. I hate Saving Private Ryan.
What are you referencing?
Saving Private Ryan?
Oh, I haven't seen Saving Private Ryan.
Ever?
No.
What?
I don't like war movies.
You're a bitch.
No, I've seen parts of that, but isn't it really long? I've seen the part where what is his name? Jake Busey, right? Has like he's a sniper. Is that the same movie? What movie is that?
I don't think that's.
Are you looking at me funnily? I can't look at you.
I don't think Jake Busey's in that movie, but I could be wrong.
What's the army movie with Tom Hanks and a million people?
Tom Hanks is in that
Tom Sizemore, right? Some other guy, and he's like, I was the right. And there's who's that guy then? If it's not Jake Busey,
it might be, but I don't remember him in there.
It's got to be Jake Busey. He doesn't have long hair, and he's not flying a jet plane against John Travolta, and what's his name? I've seen parts of that. I just get bored. It's fucking long-ass war movie.
It's a good movie.
I know, but I don't have time for everything.
But the point of that is they let somebody go in like the beginning, and that same guy slowly kills a guy with a knife.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
This is war.
Yeah, always kill everybody.
This is zombie war.
But so that's this episode of iZombie. Ending with a cliffhanger.
Well, okay, so Lowell's dead. Blaine doesn't know anything about Liv being involved.
Or does he? He heard a girl. I think he heard. Does he hear the scream? And who knows how zombie eyes work? He might be just like.
He can see her through stuff.
Yeah.
Robbie was bitten but didn't turn and says that's fine. There had to be something to cap that off. So she's just gonna still work cases with him. Major just had like an incident, but he probably doesn't know about zombies yet.
No.
I feel like that's very drawn out then.
If all three were the chest, it could just be he was wearing a bulletproof vest.
I know, but the guy had the eyes. Was he not looking at him? Was Major not looking at the thug when his eyes turned red? I guess
it was
not.
dark. There was no power on. It's hard to say what he saw and what we saw through movie magic.
Okay. I was like, we could see the eyes though.
Yeah, but we can see in a pitch black room. Yeah. It's a movie.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So fuck this episode. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next week for episode 10.